There is a large number of people who, upon encountering a more spiritual path and the opportunity to embrace a more harmonious and peaceful lifestyle, immediately set to work to achieve the cherished goal. On the other hand, there are those who, without actively seeking it, find themselves in the midst of a process of personal improvement, growth and healing, facing an imminent leap to a higher state of consciousness. The changes they experience are overwhelming and almost instantaneous, including a hint of despair, disorientation, and other emotional and physical symptoms. However, in most cases, these things are often attributed to other aspects of their lives rather than to the internal work that is already bearing fruit. This is why hypnotherapist Dolores took on the task of delving into this marvelous process where one's being awakens to true knowledge and a more spiritual life, ascending towards it. She details some of the things that may arise along this transformative journey. This knowledge has also helped many understand why they begin to be invaded by a range of emotions and new experiences that were not part of their being before. Some may even feel emotionally and mentally imbalanced, thinking that something is wrong with them. However, the causes may lie in a different and entirely positive realm. It is clear that some individuals may genuinely need assistance from a mental health professional. However, often when people have focused on self-improvement and healing, these symptoms, mistaken for emotional disorders, may be mere side effects of the energetic shift intrinsic to their own efforts. It is up to each of us to receive this knowledge and honestly discern whether these are changes we must learn to embrace or if we need professional assistance. Today, we will explore 7 symptoms that may indicate we are in an ascension process, allowing you to open up to embracing the wonderful transformation that many may currently be unaware of. Number 1. You may feel disoriented, out of focus, and with a deep longing for home. While this ascension is undeniably a process of improving the reality you live in and your own being, it can also inherently bring forth a series of emotions and perceptions that, at first glance, might be labelled as negative. However, they are nothing more than the manifestation of a soul aligning itself with a much greater energy and a higher vibrational frequency. The person undergoing this ascension may feel like a spectator in their own life, invaded by sensations of sadness in the midst of which they haven't connected with the direction it's heading or feel they don't have one. It's as if this person is outside their body, observing it go through the motions automatically, constantly searching for a reason behind their actions or the direction that initially led them to make certain decisions. However, even though this might seem like a strong indicator of depression experienced at a very intense level, these individuals are not seeking in any way to disconnect from life or its purposes. On the contrary, they are seeking a purpose more in line with the new vibrational frequency they now possess. We must understand that our being is composed of energy, and this energy has the ability to be transformed, which inevitably occurs once the individual begins the ascension process. As the name suggests, this person is moving from one state of consciousness to another, so it's not surprising that from this new place, they begin to enjoy a different perspective. Additionally, their spiritual needs change, causing many things to be left behind, and their soul starts to require others. One of these needs is necessarily a purpose or a meaning that aligns more effectively with the new vibration of your being. Understanding and embracing your new level of consciousness make it possible for you to gradually return to the perspective of being the protagonist. You will see how, over time, you stop feeling like a stranger in your own life and begin to reclaim it. However, this only happens with time, understanding, and acceptance of what you are experiencing. It's not about falling into a depressive state. It's about rising to something much better, to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. This life is governed by the principles of love and acceptance, causing activities, situations, and experiences that don't align with that energy to start feeling meaningless. From there, you begin to perceive these things as foreign no matter how immersed they may have been in your reality up to this point. Not only does your being transform, but the reality you live in, as a manifestation of your inner self, also undergoes a transformation into a physical expression of your new state of consciousness and the new dimension you now inhabit. Elevating yourself involves moving from the dimension you previously inhabited to one that is superior, better, and charged with higher frequency energies. From this perspective, you'll see how everyone, including yourself, takes on a different form. What you're experiencing is not wrong, and I can assure you that it's only a temporary period. This sensation will gradually diminish as the change progresses until it disappears. Transitions are not entirely simple. They can pose significant challenges for the person undergoing them. However, the focus should always be on what is better and necessary for us as individuals. This is why I explain that a person may even feel a longing for home, a desire to be in a place that is welcoming and warm for their soul. Amidst all this, it's quite common for a person to find even their own experiences, activities, and physical space becoming strange. They fervently wish to be in a space of comfort, as if they were in their home, a space that is safe and designed to protect us in moments of vulnerability. The way to understand this is that we now need to immerse ourselves in a physical manifestation of the new energy we are emitting. As we progress into a new dimension, everything belonging to that third dimension we once inhabited becomes increasingly distant from what we feel as welcoming. What happens at this moment? It doesn't mean you have to move to a new residence. Instead, the environment around you will gradually shift to the vibration that now characterizes your life. Your being will move to a new place of rest and existence, which is not necessarily physical. In other words, it doesn't imply a terrestrial relocation, but rather speaks more to a manifestation from within you where everything changes unstoppably. There are cases where all of this translates into physical renovations of the living space, establishing a new energy more in line with the person's level of consciousness. It's impressive how everything takes on new nuances, and once again, we can define this space as our home. In the midst of this renovation, your being will calm the negative sensations that may currently invade you, as it perceives this change and feels more confident and secure. You can move gracefully among the elevated energy currents that are now normal and in harmony with your soul. Even without the need for material changes, the way you perceive your surroundings will be different because it will react and transform in response to your change. This is a normal process that cannot be stopped and sometimes generates fear and uncertainty, leading us to the next point on our list. Number 2. New emotional challenges will arise for your being. As I mentioned at the beginning, this ascension can translate into challenges for the individual, not only externally, but at a very internal and personal level. The person may be overwhelmed by feelings of sadness, anxiety, and even panic at the slightest stimulus. But why does this happen? Many question why, if ascension is such a positive thing, it is filled with such intense emotional and mental moments. The answer lies in the immense energy moving amid the internal changes of the individual. Let's remember that many times, in order to install something greater and more beneficial in ourselves, it is necessary to create space, as in other aspects of life. When we want to receive something, there must be space ready for it to settle. That's why, in the midst of this transformation, our being cleanses itself and frees itself from many energies and programming. During this cleaning process, in the act of letting go that our soul is performing, everything imposed by the ego is shed, leaving only what aligns with love and compassion. However, the ego within us doesn't make this task so simple. It starts to resist this cleansing because it knows that after it, there will be no space left for it to inhabit in us for another day. We will be connected from the deepest level with a higher dimension and an energy that won't allow it to enter. The ego understands that its days are numbered, and it will be kicked out of you, unable to limit you for another day, unable to set the boundaries it had imposed on your life. Therefore, it puts up a tough fight, one that manifests through these challenges. Remember that an individual who has managed to eradicate the ideas, thoughts, and limitations imposed by their own ego is equal to one with unlimited capacity to access the spaces and the lifestyle they desire. They unlock the ability to manifest each and every one of their desires in perfect harmony with the universe. Just as every trial has its reward, these internal challenges also hide an incredible power and capacity that your being can acquire. You must let go of fear to face this change, understanding that everything happens for a good reason, and that there is nothing in your journey that is not for the better. All discomfort is merely a delay that the ego seeks to impose. But it's not just about anguish, stress, depression, or anxiety. This internal process can also shake other internal aspects, which are related to the next point. Number 3. There is an increased emotional sensitivity. In the midst of this transformation, it is quite normal to observe how a person becomes more emotional, sensitive, and easily moved by the small details of life. It's as if the eyes of that individual open to appreciate the beauty of everything around them. Not only that, but it also allows the individual to empathize in a deeper way with things, events, and people around them. They can feel everything as their own, as if entering the inner world of another person and perceiving what affects them without needing further explanation. It's as if this ascension process grants the person the authority to open a window into the feelings of each individual around them, as if it were a superpower from a superhero story. However, this has an explanation that goes beyond a superpower and is rooted in the effects that this transformation causes in the heart chakra, also known as the Anahata chakra. The heart chakra is the fourth chakra located at the chest level, emitting the energy of unconditional love and spirituality. It's not surprising that it undergoes certain changes during the ascension process. Individuals moving to a higher plane begin to tune into infinite and unconditional love, as well as compassion for all without discrimination. This comes from the internal cleansing and increased energy radiating from this point. It's essential to understand that the increase in this energy of love and compassion not only manifests toward others, but also directs those powerful emotions toward oneself, making forgiveness and healing one's wounds more straightforward. However, although much has been discussed regarding emotional symptoms, they are not the only ones a person can manifest. This process can also have repercussions or manifest at a more physical level. This brings us directly to the fourth symptom of ascension that we will explain today. Number 4, the person experiences physical symptoms. As if undergoing a physical change, this energetic transformation will undeniably impact the person's body. These physical symptoms may be confused with a state of exhaustion or depression. When a person begins to feel such a level of physical exhaustion and requires long hours of sleep to stay on their feet, it is immediately assumed that something is wrong, and there is a tendency to search for physical and even mental ailments to justify the symptoms. However, this process of change and elevation can also be the cause of this symptom, as well as many others that may run almost imperceptibly without being attributed to such a powerful energetic process. Among these symptoms, there may also be small migraines and pains that you didn't perceive before and that now appear from time to time. In these cases, it's not a result of the effects of aging because it can manifest in young people as well. It's just your soul moving to the next level of consciousness. When your body perceives the energetic movement taking place within, it also enters a state of change, adapting its condition to the new vibration that is now characteristic of you. It is also when we realize that the physical body, like the spiritual aspect, enters a period in which it heals every wound or ailment it carries, all to complete the transition to the next dimension in a healthy manner, free from anything that has held them back. We should also understand that in the midst of this third dimension that we have inhabited, there is a very different energy from what exists in the fifth dimension we are heading towards. Thanks to this vibrational change, many people express feeling discomfort, reporting dizziness, and even a feeling of numbness that is hard to shake off during daily activities. At this point, we should take a brief pause to offer you a couple of useful suggestions amid this physical process. At this stage, it's not just about embracing the change. We can also make small adjustments to help us feel better and be better prepared for establishing ourselves in the new destination we are heading towards. Something you can use to your advantage is undoubtedly a better dietary regimen. In addition to consuming foods with high energy value and lower saturated fats, make sure to stay adequately hydrated. Combining this with a proper sleep routine and some low-impact physical activity will make you feel much better and allow your body to be more receptive to the changes it is undergoing. In more extreme cases, individuals may even practice energy cleanses to free their bodies from energies that have served as anchors to the current plane but now have little utility. Number 5. Unusual nocturnal activities occur. When I talk about unusual nocturnal activities, I'm not referring to strange movements of objects or ghosts haunting you. This is for those who may not be familiar with this realm of knowledge, as they might perceive it as mystical or even malevolent due to their lack of understanding. Those who have a deeper understanding of the spiritual world and metaphysics will comprehend that things like an extremely deep sleep are signs of special or unconventional nocturnal activity. While many people claim to have a good night's sleep, those undergoing the Ascension process tend to surpass the boundaries of the ordinary. They may enter a state of rest so deep that no noise or external factor can disturb them. It's almost as if there is a total disconnection from the physical world. During this state, the individual may also experience a journey between realms and dimensions, where they can perceive a multitude of symbols that come to them as messages from higher realms. Much has been discussed over the years about the state we enter when we sleep and fall into a deep rest, where our pineal gland begins to develop its activity and serves as a gateway to elevated spiritual experiences. This journey between dimensions is facilitated for individuals with a high level of consciousness, allowing them to explore realms beyond ours that cannot be accessed with our physical bodies. Through these dreams and journeys, individuals receive information and knowledge in symbolic form that can serve as guidance in their journey. This often happens even without the person actively seeking it, as it is a common factor in most cases. There are also experiences of vivid dreams, which appear without prior exposure to such experiences, or, if previously experienced, may become more frequent than in the past. This should not be a cause for alarm. It is also common for these dreams to be altered, and individuals may feel exhausted after long periods of rest. This exhaustion is a result of internal movements within the person. Even though the change may be imperceptible to the eye, it is noticeable through heightened senses. Another notable aspect is the consistent waking between 2 and 4 in the morning. This is considered a time of release, during which one can leave behind energetic burdens that no longer have a place in our reality. All this activity aims to achieve realignment between the physical body and the energies unique to each individual residing on this earthly plane. This alignment changes according to the dimension we are situated in, or, in this case, the dimension we are transitioning towards. Number 6. The person's senses may be heightened. As mentioned earlier, the person's senses will become sharper. But how far can they go? When a person unlocks the internal potential that is inherent in each of us, the manifestations can be simply incredible. However, they can also expand the capacity of their senses. Many people report seeing things that seemingly aren't there, as well as hearing subtle whispers, as if receiving messages that the ear doesn't typically detect. This is not a descent into madness. It is an expansion of the senses beyond the physical limitations that have existed for the individual, unlocking the ability to perceive things belonging to other dimensions. Sightings of shadows or inanimate objects that turn out to be symbolic are common among those accessing the next dimension and that new level of consciousness. Another frequently observed detail is synchronicities, which seem to be strong indicators that you are undergoing an energy transformation. Some people interpret these as messages from the universe, signaling that you are on a path of knowledge and elevation that will inevitably lead to the improvement and refinement of your soul. Additionally, it positions you in a higher dimension, distant from the one you currently inhabit. But although some claim to have experienced this spontaneously, the majority of reports agree that it is more common during energy work involving a trance state. Individuals tend to be more prone to these sightings and whispers during meditation and deep contemplation. They may even feel their ears buzzing before receiving messages that are not yet aligned with their auditory capacity, signaling that they are open to receiving guidance and help at all times, along with new knowledge. Number 7. The person exhibits intolerance to low vibrations and everything that represents them. Last but not least, we have the characteristic of a person in ascension, which involves a strong aversion to things, people, situations, and energies with low vibrational frequencies. Once our being, both in spirit and in its physical incarnation, is aligned with positive energies of high frequencies, it no longer desires to be surrounded by things that are distant from its new vibration. Some testimonies speak of how everyday conversations that do not contribute to evolution become unbearable for the person. Similarly, anything in their daily life that no longer aligns with the new dimension they are accessing can be challenging. There may even be relationships with other people that become burdensome for the individual due to this shift, necessitating the constant effort to protect oneself and cut ties as needed. This includes people who do not bring anything positive to the person and their process, those who dwell in complaint and are anchored to low vibrational frequencies. In the face of all this, it is crucial and even vital to understand that, as we journey through life, we must detach ourselves from things, spaces, situations, and people that do not help us walk lightly. This is not out of selfishness or in a frivolous manner, but rather because, in a way, they only contaminate our energy. You must always be your faithful guardian and draw the line against anything that is not good and beneficial for your being, your spirituality, and your progress, even if it means ending relationships that you have maintained with the hope that they will eventually be positive. It is important to listen to yourself, to your inner self, and to your body because they are changing for the better and will let you know the needs they have. From there, you can make the most accurate decisions and take the most appropriate actions in the midst of this ascension. If you are in the midst of ascension and have detected it through this video, let me know with a like so I'll know I've been helpful in your process. I would also like everyone to go to the comments section and tell me what tools and measures you know to protect yourself and your energies from negative influences. Remember that if you subscribe to this channel and activate notifications, you can stay up to date with the new editions I bring to you, which are filled with knowledge and wisdom. This channel is intended for everyone to receive messages and guidance from the universe and the Creator. I'll be back very soon with more topics. Until then, continue walking this path of wisdom, of which many are already a part, and to which more and more people join every day.